Hi BookTube! Welcome back to the Babbling Bee. It's a lovely springy afternoon here, and I had the opportunity today to spend a little bit of gift money that I recently got. So, as all respectable bookish people do, I took myself dutifully down to Barnes & Noble and got some really lovely things, and I thought I would just quickly show them to you. There's dogs and cats pitter-pattering around in here, so sorry if you can hear them. The first thing that I got is the Pocket Book of Prayers. These are just like little Barnes & Noble classic editions. I thought this would be really good for Lent, and I was actually just thinking recently that I would really like to have a little collection of really beautiful Christian prayers just for like inspiration and like to write down in my prayer journal and stuff. So I was really pleased to find this, as I was pleased to find in the same edition the I was gonna say the Irish Book of Fairy and Folktales, but it's just Irish Fairy and Folktales, which is very aesthetically pleasing and pretty, and it looks like a fairly simple collection, nothing too complicated or overwhelming to read, so I'm looking forward to spending some time with this, hopefully in the rest of this month and maybe into April. And then I was so pleased to find this really lovely edition of 84 Charing Crossroad. Is it Charing or Charing? I never know. Anyway, this is one of my favorite books of all time. My edition of it that I used to have was very old and worn out and not in the best shape, and like the whole top corner of this front flap was missing, which is fine. I mean, it served its purpose while I had it, but it was really nice to find this lovely edition of this book. This is such a sweet faith in humanity restoring story. It's a book for book lovers, and I would highly recommend giving it a go if you've never read it before. And then I found the highly controversial Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Patterson. I love Katherine Patterson. She's one of my favorite middle grade authors, and in honor of Middle Grade March, I was really pleased to find a lovely middle grade to take home, and especially this edition is just so pretty and so enchanting. And while I was in the store, I got swept away reading the foreword to this. It was just so fascinating, and like from the first sentence of it, I was just like, wow, this foreword is like super awesome. And it's like written from the perspective of this woman who first read this when she was 30 years old, working in a bookstore, and how she eventually passed it on to the 9-year-old son of her best friend, and like his experience reading it. And I didn't make it all the way to the end of the foreword in the store because I was just like, no, yep, I love this foreword. I loved this book as a kid, even though it destroyed me, so I'm gonna get this. And then I got home and realized that the foreword is written by Kate DiCamillo in this edition. So of course I loved it and was like fascinated by it immediately. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get to this one over the summer. It feels like a very summery book, and so I will look forward to maybe reading this sitting in the backyard in the evenings, and I can just sob as I sit there and read it, and remember my experience of reading it in elementary school. Hopefully I will be able to bear it a little better now, but maybe not. Who knows? And then I was also really excited to find Tom's Midnight Garden by Philippa Pearce. I have heard about this from a couple of booktubers, but most recently I was watching a Miranda Mills video, and she's mentioned this book a few times in her videos, and it's just supposed to be a really like quirky, whimsical, enchanting story. It's got an old house with a grandfather clock. It's got a garden. It's got a mystery. It's got some magic. So, I mean, I'm here for all of those things. I wish that I had time to get to that in middle grade March, but I don't know that I will, and I don't want to add anything else right now onto my TBR because, like, I'll be doing good if I can just get through my middle grade March TBR as it is. And then finally, I feel like a big kid now because this will be the first time that I actually own my own copy of, well, I want to get all of the series in these editions. This is just the Fellowship of the Ring, which I will probably do a whole other video at some point about my journey with Fellowship of the Ring and just getting into Tolkien in general, because it is so far both a pleasure and a struggle for me. I absolutely adore the Lord of the Rings films. I think they're brilliant, the Peter Jackson films. I've watched all of the extended editions multiple times and all of the appendices because that's how nerdy I am about those movies. And I just feel like I can't live my life and not have read these books. Like, I feel like if I get to the afterlife and haven't read them, God will like put me in timeout, you know what I mean? So, I really want to finish this book at some point, hopefully during the spring. Like, I'm halfway through the audiobook right now, but I wanted to have the paperback edition just to like maybe be able to read along with the audiobook, and just to have, because I feel like if all goes well, by the time I get to the end of this series, I will want to like reread them again someday, or just turn to them in times when I need to go back to Middle Earth, which I feel like is going to be often. So yeah, I was really happy to find this as well. So it was a lovely little excursion to Barnes & Noble and a lovely little haul. Let me know if you've hauled anything exciting recently or what you're reading at the moment. I hope you're having a lovely springy afternoon as well, and I'll see you for another video soon. Bye guys!